Hey guys, TommyBryson here and welcome to my channel, and today we're going to talk about exactly what are 3 options that you have if you've been affected by the coronavirus and you actually need some form of financial help for yourself right now. And I'm going to talk about, for example, well, what happens if I can't pay my rent, my credit card, or for example, even my student loan debt, okay? I'm going to break everything down in this video right here, and I also do post videos every single day on my channel, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video, and on top of that, also destroy the like button. Now, without further ado, guys, the first thing I want to talk about, hey Tommy, what happens if I'm unemployed, or for example, I'm just unable to pay my rent right now, or for example, my mortgage if I'm a landlord? Well, in New York State and other states out there, they actually put rules in place to avoid any evictions for up to 90 days. So if you live in New York, you know this already, but if you don't live in New York, go ahead and check with your entire state and see exactly what rules they're putting in place in case you can't pay your rent or, for example, your mortgage. Because in New York, you're not allowed to actually evict anyone for the next 90 days or so. Now, the main reason I'm telling you guys is this, okay? One of my clients has 2 barbershops, okay? And one barbershop has one landlord and the other one has another landlord. The first landlord said like, hey, we understand, no problem, don't worry about it. When things open back up, you have to catch back up on the rent, but we just add like a small payment and that way everything is done, everything is good, right? Because at the end of the day, you kind of have to have money on the side to pay that rent because in reality, it's really nobody's fault. So we get that. However, the other client, well, the yellow landlord in this case, he went ahead and called my client and actually me and said like, hey, we want our rent right now. I have to pay taxes. I don't care. Find my money right now. And if you don't, we're going to have an issue. And on top of that, I just remember another client that I have that just rents his home. Another landlord tried to do the exact same thing to him. Now, the reason this is such important is to understand exactly what your rights are. So right now, if you don't have any money and you're going through a lot, if you own a business or you're just like renting a place, whatever it is, you want to understand exactly what your state is doing about it. Because if you don't have to pay any rent for the next 90 days, you might not want to, okay? You might want to put a pause on it. However, if you can afford to pay, by all means pay, okay? Because that person, the landlord, also needs some cash flow because they still have taxes to actually pay. But the last thing I want is you guys being taken advantage of, and next thing you know, you have to pick between rent and taking care of your family with food, okay? So you never want that combination. So just know your rights and know exactly where you stand. So for number 1 here, if you cannot pay your rent, commercial or residential, check in with your state and find out exactly what options they're going to give you, and don't let anyone try to play you. And if a landlord calls you, make sure to record the entire phone call and be very polite and also say like, hey, what are my options? I've been affected. Don't be mean about it, okay? Because at the end of the day, he just wants a solution for his problem, but you also want a solution for your problem also. No one expected this whatsoever. And now guys, number 2 is actually for people that have, for example, student loan debt. Now, me, myself, I actually have around $23,000 in student loan debt, but it's all federal. So in reality, if you do have student loan debt right now, federal or even private, you might be able to get away with forbearance. However, federal student loans have automatically been paused in a sense until September 30th. However, if you have a private lender, you want to contact them directly and say like, hey, I can't pay my payments. I've been affected. I don't have a job. Or even if you do have a job, it's like, hey, I've been affected. And this way they might be able to pause it until September 30th or maybe like 30 days or whatever. You know, the point is whatever they pause it for is going to help you. But the government or like federal student loans have actually been stopped until September 30th. So if I ask for a pause or forbearance, I would ask until then. However, okay, if you do still have a job, and for the first time ever, okay, if you still do have a job and you still have extra money to pay towards, for example, debt, I recommend putting it towards your student loan debt. And here's why. Because although it might be very high, every time you make a payment before this, you were making, for example, capital payments and also interest. And that's why it's so hard to get your student loans to actually go down, down, down. It seems like you're never really chopping away at anything. But right now, every single dollar you put in goes towards your actual debt. So right now is the perfect time to go ahead, if you have extra money, and try to pay them off in full before September 30th. And this way, guess what? by September 30th, you get to rise like a phoenix and be like, okay, so I'm student loan debt free, I'm good to go, I don't owe anyone any money. But a little tip is this, guys. Again, contact your private lender. If it's federal student loans, automatically it should be done for you. But if you do have, for example, federal student loans and also private student loans, I did notice that they're not allowing you to set up auto pay for your loan. So you have to be very vigilant and set rules and goals for how much you want to take from your paycheck every time you get paid and put it towards that. And I also want to mention this, okay, guys? But Tommy, you know what? I'm unemployed right now. But a lot of people out there that are unemployed are getting a lot more money than ever before because they're also getting $600 from the government, and on top of that, they're getting normal unemployment. So in reality, a lot of people are getting paid a lot more money than they used to. So take some of that extra money that you actually don't really need that much for now and put it towards your debt. And for people out there that are saying, Tommy, but I am an essential worker and I'm still working and not really getting anything whatsoever, I'm going to talk about that later in the video because I also want to mention that because I feel like a lot of people out there think that, hey, it's not fair that I'm out here working and risking my life and my safety, my family, while other people are at home getting paid more money than they ever got paid in the first place. So I'm going to break that down later on in the video. But number 3, guys, okay? If you've been affected, I want you to go ahead and call your credit cards and ask them, hey, I've been affected. Can you guys delay my payments until like 30 days, 90 days, whatever options they actually give you? Now, I noticed with Discover and Capital One, they've done this automatically. However, with Chase, you have to enroll into these programs and they will actually like, hey, have you been affected? Yes, I have. Okay, we're going to delay them. And again, if you do have extra money, this is the perfect time in history like ever to go ahead and knock off one of those high interest debts that you actually have. Now, for example, if you do have, for example, credit card debts and also student loan debts, which one do you pay first? The answer is you want to pay the debt with the highest interest, and usually that's going to be your credit card. And once you're done with that, go ahead and move over to your student loan debt and also scratch that out, exit out, and this way, once quarantine is over, hopefully, well, you get to be debt-free 100% and you just like get to like start over from scratch without really having to pay any massive amount of interest. Always a bonus if you ask me. However, I know some of you might say, Tommy, but I still have my normal job. I don't need them deposits. Should I just keep paying? The answer is some credit cards are not going to charge you interest. So that's why I want you to call them and see exactly what they offer you, because if you've been affected, and in a way everyone has been affected, if you know what I mean, well, if you've been affected, just call in and say, will you guys stop charging interest for this long? If they say yes, this way you can pay more towards the actual debt and not just worry about paying them interest also. Because again, credit card debt is very expensive, all the way up to sometimes up to 35%. And if you ask me, that is extremely hard to actually ponder down when the interest is actually so high. And now, guys, number 4, I want to take the time to answer some questions that I know a lot of you are having right now, okay? Question number 1, Tommy, should I take a private loan to actually go ahead and keep me afloat while everything's actually going on right now? The answer is, guys, I'll be honest with you. Usually right now during these times, you can basically get away without paying anything whatsoever. So whatever bills you have, they're basically like, hey, I can't really pay them right now. Call those companies and ask them, hey, can you guys stop charging me money? Because again, I've been affected this and this and this way. If they do pause it, it means that you don't have to go ahead and basically, oh my gosh, I'm gonna take a loan out. Now you're in debt. You don't know how you're gonna pay back. And at the end of the day, that's just going to add a lot more stress to you. So you wanna understand exactly, well, what is my big problem? Is it food? If it's food, there are a lot of private organizations out there that are helping people with food. So you might want to go to some of them, for example, a church, and get yourself some food for you and your family. If it's, for example, your bills, call them and say like, hey, I can't pay. I've been affected. Do not get trapped in the idea like, hey, I have to pay the bills. No, right now, most companies are very understanding because they know exactly what is going on right now. So take advantage. call those companies and don't be so quick to get this massive loan that once everything is over, they will still be knocking at your door every single month, and you will not forget it, okay? Because those will also get very expensive very quickly. And also, question number 2. Tommy, what happens if I am an essential worker, or for example, I'm unemployed and I'm getting paid more money? It's not fair, okay? The answer is Congress is working on something called hazard pay to actually give essential workers a little boost, like I think it's called like the HERO Act. And this way, they can actually boost your pay for a while, and you can actually be rewarded for being out there and basically risking your life while people are at home. Now, I do want to basically say one thing here, guys, okay? I don't want people to say like, hey, these people are unemployed, they're getting paid a lot more money than they used to. The answer is, you don't know, they don't know if after all that's going on right now, if they can actually come back to a normal job. So the answer is, if they're getting paid a little extra money, that money is supposed to be used to save up just in case, like, hey, I lost my job, I lost my insurance, I lost my benefits. So you want to make sure, if you are, for example, unemployed and getting paid extra money right now, don't take the money and go to Chuck E. Cheese right now, okay? Don't do that. Well, it's actually closed down, but just take the money and put it to the side and just save it up in case anything does happen, because you want to be prepared, because you don't know if you might have a job after everything actually goes down. And now lastly, number 3, Tommy, what is a plan of action that I can use right now if I still have my job and I'm not paying those bills that I basically have to because I put them on pause for now, okay? Well, the first thing I want you guys to do is basically go out there and build an emergency fund for up to 6 months, because although you might have a job right now, you don't know what might happen within the next year. So you want to make sure that you're covered for up to 6 months of all of your expenses, and this way you're good to go. Because for example, if you lose your job and then you're not getting breaks anymore with your bills, now you're screwed and you actually might get evicted. Number 2, once you've done that and you have 3 to 6 months worth of emergencies, I want you to go ahead and pay off all that high interest debt and then move towards that low interest debt, for example, like student loans and small loans that you may have, but get rid of all the debt as fast as possible. And number 3, take the time and the extra income to not put it towards investing. Right now is probably like the best time ever to invest because everything is on discount. However, if you don't know how to invest, I have a whole bunch of videos on it, link down below, check them out. And as always, guys, comment down below any questions and I'll be down in the comments down below forever because I'm always there answering questions, and this way I can answer them, okay? Comment down below, let me know. And as always, if you enjoyed this video right here, well, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. And I also have a second channel, link down below, check it out. It's hilarious and it should keep you entertained during quarantine. And as always, if you want to watch another video on investing and all the basics, watch the video right here. Click my face right here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.